Hello YouTube and hello PamEW. I'm sure you've corrected me on how to say that, but I can't recall. Um, this is a video response to your latest video. People, if you don't know of him, go sub to him, link below. He's an interesting chap, usually puts out some good stuff, interesting insights, and some fun music stuff. So he's worth having a look at, even though I'm disagreeing with him in this video. It's on a small issue really, just splitting hairs, but I think they're important to split. In his latest video, he talks about the censorship in a recent trailer concerning the word gay being used in a pejorative fashion. First off, I don't think the term should be censored to avoid giving offence to anyone, particularly given the context it seems to be being used in the trailer, portraying the dialect and attitude of American youth. Well, I don't know if it's youth actually, but of American dialect as it is depicted nowadays fairly well. I don't think that should be censored particularly. However, I do disagree on you on, I think they'd be two broad points. The first, that the two meanings of gay are separate and unrelated. I pointed out that the two words are etymologically connected in my comment to you, and you said that you didn't feel the need to give an in-depth lecture on the two words, and that you just felt that the two distinctions were, although semantically connected, significantly different to be completely different and unrelated. I'm sorry, I completely disagree. The usage of the term gay as a pejorative is fairly recent, and certainly its widespread use as a pejorative in the term that you are using it as a general pejorative. It started, I can remember it starting in school, and I was young, and I'm about the same age, so I would assume that you remember when it's really started to get popularly used. And its association as a pejorative is directly connected with its association as a term for homosexual. It would not be a negative word. We wouldn't say, oh, that's gay, if we weren't aware of the term as a homosexual, as a meaning for a word for the people who are homosexual. If you ask most of the people who were using it that I recall what the word gay meant, they wouldn't go, it just means something bad. They would go, it means a batty boy or some other pejorative term for a gay man. It means homosexual. And its use of a pejorative is based on the fact that being homosexual was perceived as bad. As I said, I used to use the term myself at school, along with lots of my school chums, most of whom have turned out to be either gay or bi. And we certainly weren't particularly homophobic, more than sort of your average 14-year-old is. We didn't use it to be anti-homosexual. We didn't mean any offence by it. It was just part of the lexicon, part of the slang that was going around. So I can see your point about it having a different meaning. And once it is in your ingrained vocabulary, it's kind of hard to shift because it's useful to have just a term that means generally bad beyond bad, or at least lame, without saying lame, because lame is lame. That's just the way slang works, and it does stick with you. But the fact that many who use it as a pejorative, and in the trailer that is censored that you quote, they then clarify it to ensure they're not perceived as bigots, tells me that it does still mean homosexual to them, and they want to make it clear that although they're using a term which is pejorative and means homosexual, they don't want to be seen as the bigots that use the word to mean both. The fact that they have to clarify it, the fact that you have to go, I'm using this pejorative term, but I don't mean to be offensive, says to me that they're being offensive. In fact, what we can do is swap it out for another term. Oh man, I was proper Jewed on the price of my electric car. I don't mean that in the ethno-religious sense, it's just that I had to pay far too much and was conned out of my money in the term of being Jewed. That's what I meant. I'm not being racist. And so the second point sort of blends into the first, really, that you say that people shouldn't be offended by this, that it's irrational of them to be offended. I think I've shown that the words certainly are etymologically related, and I think I can contrast this by the word niggardly. Niggardly is a word deriving from a Norse origin, meaning a small or insignificant thing, and is related to the term niggling, as in a sort of small niggling doubt. and is completely unrelated in etymological root to the word nigger, which derives from the Latin for black, niger. And so to protest about the word niggardly is to protest because it sounds similar, not because niggardly was once used as a racist fashion. And so when people take offence over that, you might say they're taking offence irrationally merely because it sounds the same, not because it has a similarity of meaning. Then we come to the value of offence, which is a completely another video, and whether or not you should respect someone just because they're offended, to which my answer is usually no, and is still no in this situation. You shouldn't respect or censor your use of the word just because someone is offended. But trying to say that they're stupid for being offended, when in this case the term is clearly etymologically related to its usage as a homosexual, to the word gay I'm now talking about, and the fact that it is still used as such, and they're very much a linked word. I think that you are wrong when you say they're different words with different meanings and different definitions. So yeah, that's my 2 cents worth on this. I will note,